It's that time of the year again. We are starting up the tier lists for every position in Major League Baseball, getting it started with catchers, which leads me to the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek between games, events, concerts, and much more. You know, I go to a ton of Met games all season, and I'm always using SeatGeek to get my tickets. I went to the Taylor Swift concert in Dallas. SeatGeek was where I got the tickets. Also, with all the baseball left and all the games we have still to go to, it's great to know that SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, so they got your back for all your baseball ticket needs. SeatGeek is also great because they take tickets from all across the web and put them in one place to make it as easy as possible for you to get the best deals. And with their SeatGeek score, they'll let you know how good a deal is for a specific ticket. They rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, and when you see a green dot closer to 10, that means good. Red or even orange dots means, maybe a deal you want to pass on. Plus, every ticket with SeatGeek is backed by their buyer guarantee. And they're the only site that allows you to return your tickets ahead of time with swaps. Not to mention, I came through for you guys. You know I've got a discount code for you to save even more money when you use SeatGeek. Use my code Giraffe for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase using promo code Giraffe at SeatGeek. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, and maybe I'll see a couple of you over at Citi Field. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring. Let's get back to the video. We're rocking the Adley jersey today, and we're starting it off with Adley Rutschman. As you guys can see, the tier list starts with Elite, then we have All-Star, Solid, Average, and Backup. He's simply one of the better catchers in all of baseball. He's an on-base machine, has the most walks in the American League, walking more than he strikes out. He's also shown the ability to hit for power. He's just overall a fantastic catcher, one of the best in the league. You know Adley is going in the Elite tier. He's so good. There's a reason he was the #1 overall pick. It's one of the first videos I made on this channel about a prospect. Adley Rutschman's that dude. Alejandro Kirk had such a good season last year, and this year he's just kind of not nearly at that same level. We've seen the production just fall off a little bit. He's hovering right around league average offensively. Defensively, know what it is with Kirk. I don't think he's average. I don't think he's an all-star maybe like we saw last year. I think right now Alejandro Kirk falls in solid. And remember, I'm not just talking about this year as a whole. We're taking what I just think about the player. This year matters, but it's not the only thing that's incredibly important. So that's why I think a guy like Kirk falls in solid. Austin Hedges, this one is plain and simple. The dude can't hit. He's a good defensive catcher, but those exist. He is a backup, and I think you Pirates fans would agree. If you could get a little more production out of the catcher spot, you'd be very, very happy. This is a team that is competing for a playoff spot right now, and Austin Hedges and his lack of a bat is not helping. Don't care how good he is defensively. He's a backup. I don't know how he keeps starting. I don't know how. Big Dumper is super, super interesting. He's obviously got crazy power, but that is pretty much it for his offensive game. He's a home run hitter. We know it. And defensively, he's pretty solid. I don't know where I want to put Cal Raleigh. I think for now, I'm going to put him in average, but there's a chance that I move him to solid. He's an interesting player. We're going to come back to you, Cal. Christian Bethancourt is another guy that's like a platoon catcher. Barrel King, obviously the Rays know what they're doing when they got him, but the numbers are just not that strong right now. Defensively, again, fine, solid, whatever you want to call him. I think he definitely goes in the average tier, which makes me think I want to put Cal Raleigh in solid, because you also have to remember that catching just gets kind of rated differently because of what the offensive value is for these guys. If you're a league average hitting catcher, that's like kind of pretty good. Bettancourt right now is just not. So, you know what? I think for now we put Cal up to solid and Bettancourt goes into average. I used to be a big Christian Vasquez guy, but truthfully, I don't think he is capable of being a starting everyday catcher anymore. I know Ryan Jeffers' numbers aren't crazy, but the dude, again, is another barrel king and also has great defense. I'm going to have to put Vasquez in the backup role. I think that's just what he is right now. He's like a good veteran presence at the catcher position to catch every couple days or so, but going out there every day for you, I don't feel confident in him. Connor Wong is super interesting because he's actually swinging the bat pretty well this year. He's about league average, but one thing that I like is he hits the ball hard. Now, defensively has not been good. Been a horrible framer. So Connor Wong is probably realistically an average catcher, which is why you rock the platoon with him and Reese McGuire so that you can get the most out of them. I've been impressed with how well he's playing, but I don't know if he's actually like that good. The lack of defense behind the plate for him is a little concerning. Elias Diaz has just had one of the weirdest years, was off to a crazy hot start, has cooled off a little bit, still an above average hitter right now on the season, but this is a guy who's consistently been bad defensively and has consistently fallen below average as an offensive player. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with a good year. So far, I'm going to put him in average. I think he is just a run-of-the-mill catcher right now, and playing in Coors also helps a ton. Yeah, the Tigers catching situations is weird. It's Eric Haas, it's Jake Rogers. Either way, I think they're both relatively backups as catcher. At least Jake Rogers gives you the power, but Eric Haas, I feel like, has been playing more, although Jake Rogers catches only, and Eric Haas can play a little bit of DH and even outfield if needed. Regardless, I think both of them are just backups in the league. Oh, my boy Francisco Alvarez. I love Francisco Alvarez so much. This dude is an absolute stud, but I will be calm here. I'm not going to be crazy. Biased Mets fan Mark won't be here. Francisco Alvarez is an all-star right now. We still have only seen about 40, 50 games of like true peak performance from Francisco, and he is still struggling against lefties. He hasn't been able to like really get the throws down behind the plate, but framing has been way better than expected. And obviously at the plate, the dude mashes. He's a beast. Vote for Francisco Alvarez for the all-star game. I think he's playing at an all-star caliber, not yet elite, but boy, oh boy, 21 years old, he's going to be a special player. I love Francisco. El Troll's a beast. He's also got the best tattooed on his neck. Stud. Gabriel Moreno right now to me is just average. I think he's still young, so there's obviously a lot of time for improvement, but there's not a lot of power in that game. While he does hit for a decent average, like good bat to ball skills. So that's something that you can definitely build on. Was a top prospect, is still young. The defense is okay. The bat has not been that great this year. Again, just hitting for average. I think how he currently stands, he's just an average catcher. Gary Sanchez. Ooh, what am I going to do with Gary? Because he has been swinging it fantastic for the San Diego Padres. He obviously had a little stint with the Mets. Defensively, I think he's getting better. He's still not good, but he's definitely getting better. I'm gonna put Gary in solid. I really am. Like, he's had a pretty solid year. He's so much better than what the Padres have been putting out of that position all season long. Gary can definitely hit. We've always known that. If he's able to get consistent playing time, I think he could be a very, very useful piece for the Padres this year. If it wasn't for Francisco Alvarez, I'd want him being the everyday guy with the Mets. Can't believe I'm saying it, but it's the truth. Jonah Heim is just the cusp of being elite. I think he's so close. Defensively, one of the best framers in the league. Awesome catcher behind the plate, and he hits for power. He's a very, very good hitter. He's much improved upon his game from the last few years. I'm going to put Jonah Heim in the all-star category. I think he's just, like I said, a smidge below elite because the guys are going to be up there. I mean, you can look at this list and probably take a guess. I just think they are a step ahead, where Jonah Heim is still very good, just not one of the best in the game in terms of elite just skills. But he's very, very good. I don't want to come off as like not being a Jonah Heim fan. I was so wrong about him in the past, terribly wrong. The dorks who were yelling at me got it right. Jonah Heim's a dude. Jose Trevino, yeah, he had a great year last year, but that was the outlier. He's been horrible this season. I know there's been some time missed because of an injury, I believe, but Trevino is a backup. Trevino is a backup. He's splitting time with Kyle Higashioka. He's not that guy. You look at his numbers last year and you go, you're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I think Yankee fans are probably going to hate me for saying it, but you know he's not that good like you saw last year. He had a career season, happy for him, but he is a backup. I think there's no way around it. Oh, JT Realmuto. This is tough. This is tough. I think we're finally starting to see JT Realmuto right now maybe fall out of the elite category. Still probably one of the 5 best catchers in the game, but I think he might be out of the elite category because of the young catchers that are really taking the league by storm right now. Defensively has not had as great of a year, but we also know framing numbers are a little bit iffy. Still a freak though behind the plate, still an athlete, still a very, very good hitter despite a crazy slow start to the year. I think I'm going to put him just a slight bit below the elite level, but boy, is he really good. I love K-Bear Ruiz, and I know the numbers haven't been like sick on paper, but I think K-Bear is very solid, and maybe this is me just having a little bit of personal bias. I don't know why you would think that, but I really like K-Bear. I think he's a very good player. I think he's going to make to be a great catcher throughout his career. He's not there yet, but I think he's very solid. Like every time I watch this guy play, he does something. Defensively has been bad, but I don't know, man. Something about K-Bear Ruiz I like. Incoming comments, you like K-Bear Ruiz, but you say that Gabriel Moreno's trash. Shut up. I don't care. I like K-Bear Ruiz. Here comes some more comments. Martin Maldonado's a backup. I know Astros fans, you love him. He is a great leader. He is great behind the plate for what he does. He calls a great game. Like, the pitchers obviously love throwing to him. But take it for what the numbers are on paper, he's not good. He's not good. Like, he's a bad framer and he can't hit. He's a great catcher with all the intangibles, but actual statistical data tells you that Martin Maldonado is not helping this Astros team. While Matt Thaiss is having a career season and looking great thus far, I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit here and I'm going to call him average. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he figured something out at the plate this year, but I'm not willing to go anywhere past that. I think probably he is a backup. Let's be honest. Angels fans, you probably know it too. You're surprised at how well he's playing, but I can't put him above the average tier. Not yet, even for a Jersey boy, albeit South Jersey, which, gross. They call Taylor ham pork roll, which is just sacrilegious. Yeah, Mike Zunino. I mean, this is probably the beginning of the end for Mike Zunino. Unreal bad year. Shouldn't be playing every day. It should be Bo Naylor. Where is Bo Naylor, Cleveland? Why is he not catching every single day? I don't know how you keep running out Zunino and Cam Gallagher because they both stink this year. Zunino's a backup, if that. Nick Fortes, while he's framing the ball well, he's so confusing. Realistically, he's probably, like, he's a platoon guy maybe. He's not that good. He's not that good. Nick Fortes, Marlins are having a great year. Has nothing to do with him. Patrick Bailey has surprised me. Defensively, we knew he was going to be a beast. Coming out of the draft, you knew that this guy was a defense-first catcher who could maybe hit for a little bit at the major league level, and he's shown a little bit. I'm going to put Patrick Bailey in solid. I have been impressed with what I've seen thus far. I think it's a very, very good start to his career. Granted, it's 70 plate appearances or whatever it is. It's not very many, but I've been impressed with what I've seen at Patrick Bailey. At least he'll probably be an elite defensive catcher. Oh, my boy Salvi. What are we doing here, Salvi? What are we doing with you? Defensively, you are so atrocious, but at the plate, you just continue to mash and mash and mash. Doesn't matter how old you are, he will always hit bombs. So I'm going to put him in all-star. I think he is still part of like that top 10 tier of catchers in Major League Baseball. I don't care how bad he is defensively. He mashes. He's just one of the better hitting catchers, continuously has been. And you know what? I love Salvador Perez. Even though he beat my Mets in 2015, he's one of my favorite catchers probably of all time. Now, I regret to say this, but Sean Murphy, probably maybe the best catcher in baseball. He's just so disgustingly good right now. Defensively, we know he's a beast. Offensively, going from Oakland to Atlanta, I mean, it's just not fair. He's so good. He doesn't do anything poorly, and he's going to be there for what, the next 5, 6, 7 years? It's an absolute nightmare for me as a Mets fan. How do you go from having Travis d'Arnaud and replace him with a guy who's even better? Travis d'Arnaud, who on this list probably goes in the solid tier. I hate the Braves. Sean Murphy's a stud. I have to hate this guy, which I don't want to, but I have to do it because he's a Brave. But boy, oh boy, do I respect the hell out of him. He is a stud. Shea Langoliers is tough. I think like the ceiling is here. I think the ceiling is solid, but I think based on what we've seen, I'm just going to drop him in an average for right now. Feels like he's very repeatable with what he's been able to do. I mean, granted, he's in Oakland with no protection on a losing team, so it's very, very hard to get productive numbers out of guys, especially rookies or young players like that. He's shown me some signs of what we could expect in the future, but overall this year it's just been okay. I like Tyler Stevenson, but the numbers are just not backing up my feelings. I'm going to put him in average because I'm not ready to give up on Tyler Stevenson by any means and call him a backup. He has too much power potential, and he's kind of relatively been healthy this year. He's just not playing well, so maybe I'm being a little too friendly with him. Maybe he is a backup, but I'm not ready to give up on Tyler Stevenson, so let's put him in average. Will Smith, disgusting, sick, nasty. He has the argument to be the best catcher in baseball as well. Mashes at the plate, good behind the plate. There's nothing not to like about Will Smith. He's just simply awesome. He's one of the 25 best players in baseball. He's really, really good. Of course, the Dodgers have him. Stud. I feel like that's an easy pick. William Contreras for me is right on the borderline of being in that all-star tier. He's very solid. I expected there to be a little more power this year, but he also has improved defensively, which is huge because he wasn't a great defensive catcher. The Brewers might have figured something out catching-wise because Omar Narvaez went from being bad to good defensively when he went there. William Contreras is doing the same while still swinging the bat a little bit above the league average, especially at the catcher position. Very solid to me. He's the best of this solid tier right now. I refuse to put Wilson Contreras anywhere but solid. I know he's having a bad year, but I blame Ali Marmol. They hate the way he catches, and granted, it's not great, but the vibes in St. Louis are horrendous. Part of the reason why is Ali Marmol, and I think he's completely messing with Wilson Contreras' head. He mashes. He still mashes. They put him at DH. He was great. They put him back at catcher, not swinging the bat well. I don't know what they're doing out in St. Louis. I still believe in Wilson Contreras, though. Not ready to give up on him yet. In a perfect world, Yan Gomes is a platoon guy. In the world we exist in right now, he's kind of the main guy for the Cubs. I'm floating between average and solid. I'm floating between these two. I think I want to put him in average. It doesn't feel right, feels dirty. He might belong in solid, but to me, Yan Gomes, aging catcher, would love to have him be in a platoon situation. He'd be good there. He'd be good there with a team that's very strong. Yasmani Grandal, honestly, is playing okay. Probably reaching the end of his career pretty soon here. He's just not a great athlete anymore. Never was a great athlete, but is really bad athletically now, and just not hitting the ball hard. Average, he still is performing okay. I don't see him in this bottom tier because he still has some sort of value offensively, but he is definitely not solid anymore. He has fallen quite a bit. So here it is, the catching tier list. My 3 elite guys: Sean Murphy, Will Smith, Adley Rutschman. The next group of guys, all-stars with JT Realmuto, Francisco Alvarez, Jonah Heim, and Salvador Perez. And then everyone else is just kind of fighting for the rest of the positions here. The catching position has gotten better, but it's still not great. I'd love to know what you guys think about this tier list down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know what you're thinking. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. That's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.